Some of us women need to accept that to get a good man, we are going to have to go 50-50 financially in our relationships.
Hey, beautiful people, how you are doing today? It's your girl Destiny here, and welcome to my channel. How you are doing? Hope you guys are doing great. So today's video, we want to have the 50-50 conversation again. So today's video is a video of a sister who came online to tell ladies that, you know what, you have to calm down. Social media is making you do lulu, thinking that you're going to find that 100% provider man that is going to provide for you 100%. That is not reality. That is a 1% of the men out there. That the reality is that we as ladies, we have to put up, we have to come down and do 50-50 with these men, because most people are struggling. And if you really want a relationship, you have to come down and do 50-50 with this man, because the internet is selling you a fake idea that a man has to provide for you 100%, take care of you financially and all that. And she wanted to talk about how men that provide for you 100% usually abuse you mentally and financially. And she really went on to really explain why she thinks this is the way to go, especially if you want a relationship, and talk about how being holding a man down, being there for a man and making sure both of you grow together is very important. She went on to say a lot about why she thinks this way. And I find some of the things she said agreeable, why some totally not, which we're going to get into it. And then another creator came on to respond to her and also give a reason why you should not settle for a 50-50 relationship, just like the first creator was saying that women should settle for a 50-50 relationship if they have to be in a relationship. So this other creator came to tell you as women not to. You guys know how we do it here. I like really balancing conversations like this and getting both sides, well, yes and no, so that people can make ask yourself the true honest question, what you really want out of life. So let's go check out these two beautiful creators share their thought on being on a 50-50 relationship, and then we'll come back and talk more.
Some of us women need to accept that to get a good man, we are going to have to go 50-50 financially in our relationships. Ladies, I know you're mad. Stay with me, please. Please do not let this ridiculous social media narrative fool you. This narrative that men have to have it all together and have to be able to pay for your whole lifestyle, a luxury lifestyle at that, before they are worthwhile human beings. Because honestly, that mindset is trash and it's not realistic. And I'm not saying this because I can't get one of those men. Because A, very few of those men exist. B, the ones that do exist are not accessible to a lot of women. And C, at that level, those kind of men often tend to be super, super entitled, disrespectful, and really see women as commodities to be used and traded. And the reality is a lot of men at that level are headed to jail at some point. Maybe not today, but at some point in their life, either through the way they got the money or the way they used the money. For most men, the majority of men, they are pretty much in the corporate or the business world where they're growing their own business. And these men are either in the point of their life where they're growing their career or growing their business. That does not happen overnight, especially if you are doing things legally and by the book. And ladies, if you want a man that you want to build a life with and start a family with, I would encourage you to get with a man who is doing things pretty much legally and by the book. And the truth of these kind of men is you do not start, your career or your business and make a lump sum tomorrow. That is why I think it's the top 1% starts from like 100 grand. So outside of that top 1% is 99% of men. It takes a lot of hard work and dedication to make a large amount of money. So even if you meet a man in his 20s, in his 30s, even in his 40s, he might not be there yet. And in reality, as long as a man is trying, there is nothing wrong with him not being exactly where he wants to be. There is also nothing wrong with you getting your bread up and you working towards being a 1% earner, if that's what you want for your life. Because I'm sorry to say, ladies, a lot of us are sitting out with our hand out, waiting for a meal ticket, waiting for a man to fund our life and our lifestyle. It is really important as a woman who wants to be part of a successful relationship and possibly family to understand the concept of partnership. And it's really unfortunate because I think the narrative is that women have made it seem like if a man is paying all your bills, you're special. And if a woman doesn't have a man paying all her bills, she's less than. No woman is less than you because she understands that she has to contribute to her life and her lifestyle. Real wealth and real stability in a relationship comes when everybody knows they are covered. So your man should also operate in the mindset that he knows that if he's trying, because you should only be dealing with men who are trying to self-improve. So if he's trying and he has times where he's down, you are going to be there as his partner and his love to cover him and support him. On the other side of that, knowing that you're a woman who is loyal and will support him as long as he's trying, when the success does come, when the riches do come, he won't have any qualms about sharing that with you and making sure you enjoy it just as much, if not more, than he does. Now, am I saying go and pick up a broke man? No, but understand that men are just not always going to be up. Life happens to everybody. And in my current relationship, I am enjoying the comfort that comes with having a man who is doing well for himself. However, I fully understand that if his situation were to change and he needed my help, that I would need to and would happily step up financially, because I am not a child. I am a partner in this partnership. I strongly believe, and I could not be any stronger in the belief, that women should have their own finances. I really detest this era we're in of women coming on and saying, this is how I spend my day as a stay-at-home girlfriend or stay-at-home wife. Because it only shows one side of the coin. And a lot of stay-at-home girlfriends and wives, not all, are being abused in some way, shape or form. Let's talk the truth. They are either financially abused, emotionally abused, physically abused, and all of that connects to control. They are heavily controlled by these men because these men control the finances. And if someone controls the finances, they control your movement, they control your decisions. You are an adult, and it is not safe to be dependent on another adult for your freedom of movement. Now, obviously, I understand that is sometimes unavoidable with things like, pregnancy, child rearing, etc. But that's why you have to be very careful about the type of men you pick and not pick just based on finances. And let me tell you the truth, you're only going to get that type of man if the care and love is mutual. I generally do not know that where this fairy tale of a man is going to work so hard to get all these riches and, really build and create a life for himself, then pluck a lucky winner out of nowhere and invite her into this lifestyle with him for the rest of his life. Which men are you lot seeing? Because look around, that is not men's mindset. Men feed you and expect you to off your pant. You think a man is going to share his riches with you? What? Because you're pretty. The only women you see that live this kind of lifestyle with these men are the women that they came up with, because they know that those women are going to be with them when they're down, because they have been. Those women are going to support them because they already have. So as a woman, you need to be able to show a man that, yes, you expect his love, his support, but you are also willing to do the same mentally, emotionally, and financially if needed. These men of today, and I guess every day, but now we've got social media, they understand that women can be bought. And women, we need to stop moving as purchasable commodities. A man should never be able to buy you. Your presence should never be dependent on a man's finances. Because in reality, women are whole and complete people with really strong brains that if we want to bring our brain and our thought process to growth for either helping a man or helping ourselves, we can go really far. So why would you want to be a woman that's lucky enough to find a man who's going to share with you? Because that's a risk. Instead of being a woman that's helped contribute to building, because then you actually have an equity stake. Because yes, looks are great, but we need to bring way more value than looks. Our value needs to be in our efficiency. Our value needs to be in our loyalty. Our value needs to be in the comfort, the words of affirmation we speak when things aren't looking great. And these are the things we need to be expecting from men, not just money. Because if there's money, money will always be there. But what you really should be holding a man to the fire for is his time, is his ability to comfort and encourage when you are down. There has to be an expectation on both sides that we are pouring into each other's cup and we are not depleting from each other. These are the things that are valuable in a relationship. Because let me tell you something, a money maker is always going to make money. Now, I have to address this because I know when I post this video, I'm going to open the comments and a woman or 10 is going to say, oh, but you know, you will do all this and you'll build a man and then he'll leave you when he gets up. Stop picking those kind of men. That's why I was very clear to say a man that is actively trying to become successful is actually trying to make something of himself. Because a lot of women will pick up men who really are ready to coast on her coattails and then be like, oh, but he didn't do anything. And then he'll leave you for someone better. Or if he happens to hit the jackpot, then he'll leave you because he never liked you that much anyway. Stop picking men who are not showing through their actions on a daily basis that they love, care, and respect you. You don't get to justify this bad decision of complicit prostitution basically because the man you picked before did you dirty. I'm not justifying it and I'm not excusing him. What I'm saying is we can't as women keep ignoring red flags and then be upset when we don't escape the consequences of ignoring those red flags. And yes, I understand some men are just complete psychos, so tough in this dating scene. But do your best, do your due diligence, and let God do the rest. Now, like I always say, there's always an exception to the rule. For best results, assume it's not you. Mwah. Some of us women need to accept that to get a good man, we are going to have to go 50.
Oh, good. We're talking 50-50 relationships. Gather round, ladies. Class is in session. Okay. Now, I've talked about 50-50 relationships before and why I don't think they work and why I don't think that they're actually 50-50. Because when we're talking about 50-50, we're talking about money. We're talking about you as a woman covering half the bills. And I see where that leads because I see when relationships unravel and I see that that always leads to bad outcomes for women. Now, any relationship can unravel, okay, but there are better outcomes and worse outcomes. And while both the woman with the provider husband and the woman who is 50-50 with her husband are both crying in my office, one of them's getting a house and the other one isn't. And let me tell you, it is a special kind of pain that a woman gets to experience when she spends all of her best years of her life giving this man everything that she has, all of her time, all of her energy. She gives him children. She pours in money into him. She subsidizes his existence and builds him up only for him to turn around and leave for another woman and start giving her everything, providing for her, doing all the things that, you know, the first woman wished that he could do, but he wasn't able to yet. That hurts a lot more, okay? It just does. And it is absolutely a lie that in order to be with a successful man, you have to be there at the beginning and you have to build him up. Let me tell you, the majority of those men are not going to give that woman loyalty. And in a lot of cases, they don't really even like her that much. She was never the woman that they really wanted to be with, their idea of a dream woman. They just kind of settled for her because she was the one who was able to prop them up, willing to build with them, all of that. But the second that they're successful and they're able to go get the dream woman, like, do you think they're really going to say no and pass up that opportunity because you were there from the beginning? No, they come up with all kinds of reasons why it's all your fault that the relationship has broken down. They're not attracted to you anymore. You haven't kept yourself up. You're always nagging them. You know, they're just so unhappy. This other woman, you know, she knows how to make them happy. She knows how to make them feel like a real man. And all of the work that you did with him won't matter. The other thing to understand is that provider men, they don't have to be rich. And I think this is where, like, the original creator and others get confused. Any man who is able to be financially independent, like he can look after himself all by himself, you know, pay his own rent, his own bills, is capable of being a provider. It does not cost him more to have a woman live with him. It does not make his rent go up. It doesn't really affect utilities that much. You know, maybe he spends a little bit more on food, but not significantly. So usually the reason that a man wants to partner with a woman and split bills with her is because it affords him a better lifestyle, a boost in his sort of quality of life and his status and all of that. Because men are still largely judged based on how much money they earn and, the things that they have. And you can criticize that all you want, but it's a reality nonetheless. So when that 50-50 man, who, just for argument's sake, is, let's say, earning, I don't know, 60,000, 70,000, not rich, right? Partners with a woman, now he thinks, oh, look, we can have a $100,000 lifestyle, $150,000 lifestyle instead of a $70,000 lifestyle. And that's what he wants, because that boosts his status in society. And so he's basically wanting to stand on that woman's shoulders. And then on top of that, he wants her to perform femininity, and that's why women end up doing the majority of the woman's work, the household labor, the cooking, the cleaning, and just doing, what you generally feel like you're expected to do as a woman. Let's not lie, make yourself look good, stroke his ego, make him feel good, all those things. And there's nothing wrong with that, but just accept that, again, that's reality. And so now that man is getting not only the benefit of having a woman in his life, 24/7 access to her, intimacy, emotional support, she's probably cooking and cleaning for him, making him feel great about himself. He also is getting the income and status boost. And now his options, right, have improved. His prospects have improved. And unfortunately, some men will exercise those options. And yes, the provider men will also do that. But at least the woman didn't have to pay for the privilege of being cheated on and heartbroken. Okay. At least she's getting some financial compensation out of the deal. So that's why I say, if you do want to partner with a man, the only way that the relationship, in my opinion, is just and equitable is if he is the financial provider. If he is at least able to provide the bare necessities. And absolutely 100%, you must not have babies with a man who cannot provide those necessities. But I've also talked about that in other videos, and I'll probably talk about that more in future. Because the reality is that you are going to have to provide in a lot of other ways, okay? You're going to be expected to provide a lot of other stuff that is often unreciprocated. And so the least the man can do is pay the bills that he would otherwise just be paying for himself anyway. So that's all I have for you today. Class dismissed.
Go down in the comment section and share your thoughts on this conversation. Let me know what you think. And do you agree with the first creator? Do you agree with the second creator? Go down in the comment section and share your thoughts. But please, as always, hold on my leg. But please, as always, keep it respectful. Yeah, on this channel, we're allowed to disagree, but we do it in a very respectful way. So go ahead, feel free and share your thoughts. So I personally, I kind of get where the original creator is coming from, talking about how the so-called rich men that social media is telling most women to go get is the 1% of the world, and most men are cannot afford that type of lifestyle. I know that. I do get it. But there are also some things she said in what she was saying that I totally don't agree with her. One of them is she talking about how a man, if you hold a man down, that means the man will be there for you when he makes it. It is not guaranteed. This is something I've seen in my society, in my culture, where a woman holds a man down when the man didn't have nothing, and when the man has something, the man is out of the door carrying the bodies in town and all that. So there's no guarantee because you struggle with a man that the man is going to be loyal to you. It's no guarantee on that. This is not me trying to fear mockery or anything, but this is facts that I know for sure. It's even it's fact I know for sure. It's even almost like a thing they tell women now in my society. Like, it does not matter whether you struggle with this man. When time reach, if he wants to misbehave, he will misbehave. Then her talking about how it's impossible for women to get. For me, I understand that financially everybody is struggling, both men and women and all that. But in terms of gender-based, women struggle more financially, and we know why. But for us, for she's trying to tell women that, oh, they should lower their standard. For me, if you don't get what you're looking for or what you think you deserve in a relationship, just be single. But for me, I just feel like people telling other people that, oh, you have to calm down, you have to relax, you have to bring down your standards so that you can get a man, in the idea of getting a being in a relationship or having a man. For me, is like, why are you doing that? If this person feels like she deserves a billionaire, then let her wait for a billionaire and be loyal to it. But from just to tell people that, oh, you have to come down from that high horse is not realistic. Like, it may not be realistic to you, but it's realistic to them. Your reality is different from their own reality, or even their dululu is different from your own dululu. So for me, I don't encourage that. You as an individual, you know exactly what you deserve and what you know don't deserve. But for you to bring your standard down just for the aspect of having a relationship, no. And the idea of how relationship is being glamorized by the original creator, for me, it really gives me the side eye, because a lot of the time this is something that has made men very complacent in society, where they feel like, oh, they can do whatever they want and get away with it. And that's why relationship dating right now really sucks, because everybody's playing mind games, because including the men are intentionally moving. And that is why here on this channel we're telling women to intentionally move. If you want to get in a relationship with someone, ask yourself, how does that relationship benefit you? I personally, I don't believe in the provider mindset. Like, oh, I need to get a man that provides for me 100%. And I've shared this a couple of times here on this channel why I don't. My father is 100% provider, and I saw how that dynamic work between my dad and my mom. And that's something that I will never ever put myself where a man provides for me 100%, because I've seen the negative side of it. So I am the opinion, personally, telling women, get your own bag, get your own money. And I do agree with her talking about how, as a woman, I'm an adult, I should be able to provide for myself, I should be able to take care of myself. I don't need to look for a man to do that for me. I 100% agree with you on that, sister. No human being should live their life for another human being to take care of them. No human being should live their life for another human being to call the shot in your own life, especially when it comes to financially, mentally, and physically. And some people will say, oh, he gives me money, but I still have the freedom. You don't have the freedom. You might think you have the freedom. He might give you the illusion that you have the freedom, but he still holds the whole power in the relationship, especially when you don't make your own money. And this is why here on this channel, we encourage women to make your own money, because I feel like being in a relationship is something I say a lot here. Be in a relationship because you want to be in a relationship, not because you have to be in a relationship. A lot of women are in relationship because they have to be in a relationship, because one, they can't survive. They have either financially, mentally, physically, emotionally, they are depending on the man for those support, so they cannot. And this is why you claim your power back when you can secure yourself financially, when you can secure yourself emotionally, love yourself, love who you are, love exactly what you are, secure yourself spiritually, mentally. Then when you are getting into a relationship with a man, you already ask yourself all the intentional questions. You're moving intentional. So even if the man not being going 50-50, the man is something that you want, something that you believe on strongly, you are doing it in a clear vision and in a very independent place, not where you're codependent emotionally or financially on this man. So whatever thing you do, because one size doesn't fit all, that's one thing I would tell you guys. As much as I come and I tell women what I think and some of the reality of being with men, and if you don't know, being with a man drains your energy. I did a video on that. He drains your energy. So ask yourself, where do you want to put yourself? And it drains us as women, because that is what we've been programmed to think, that we are to provide a certain service or to make a certain commitment, long-suffering commitment, so that we can keep the relationship, aka the man. You don't have to do that. When you find yourself, when you know yourself, when you're getting into that relationship or marriage as a whole being, where you are very independent of yourself and you're there because you want to, not because you have to, you take away that power that anybody can use against you, because you are 100% with yourself. And that's something I want to encourage any woman to do. If you want to look for a provider, that is on you. If you want to look for a 50-50, that's on you. If you want to even struggle with a man, which I don't advise, that is on you. but you're doing it as a whole being, not that you are codependent on another human being for support, whether being mental, emotionally, spiritually, or financially. You don't have to codepend on another human being. Be solid for yourself, show up for yourself, be ready to do life by yourself. And I know as human beings we crave for that companionship where we have someone and all that, but the reality is that it sucks out there. And I rather advise you to be single and live your best life rather than to be in a relationship or have a man and be miserable and lose the spark, the joy, the honesty, the truthness in your life. You lose it just for the fact because you want to keep a relationship, you want to keep a man. So pick well. Having an amazing relationship is a beautiful thing, but having a relationship that does not serve your higher purpose, that does not bring you inner peace or inner purpose, it is not worth it. Don't do it. Anyway, guys, go ahead and share your thought about this conversation we're having down in the comment section. Share this video with somebody that you want to be part of the conversation, because that's what we do here. We have banging conversation. So go on and share this video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, smash the like button, because this helps YouTube to push up my content for more people to see, and that'll be you supporting this channel and this girl here. So go on and do that. Subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Deuces.